Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Brew Crew podcast. And it's a special one today with my guys, here with Alex and Ewan.
Hey, Dodie.
It is our 10th episode.
Hey!
It's been a long road. We did it. We finally did it. Thanks to all 10 of you that have stuck around.
A subscriber an episode we're absolutely crushing. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's the holiday season. It's busy. Should we start with what's in the cup?
Let's do it. In my cup, in my favorite Hasami, guys, if you don't have I probably say this every time, if you don't have a Hasami mug, this is probably the most enjoyable mug to drink from. Some ASMR there.
Slip. I like it. We should put that as a sound effect for the podcast, I think.
Yeah, we'll do a full sound segment for what's in the cup. But here we have the Dayglow S01. So I think they started roasting. This is their second bag, I think, and they classify it by sweetness. Their last one was like fruity, so this is their first one in the sweet category. I really like the way that they are planning to categorize that, but it's a Costa Rica yellow honey process, and it's pretty good. It definitely lands like that sweet profile. It almost reminds me of like a really clean washed coffee, but yeah, custard, lime, and plum. Really cool packaging, and it's great. I did it on a batch brew on the Mocha Master in honor of our friends at Mirror Coffee Roasters for the Coffee Roasters warm-up podcast. They always do batch brew, and I kind of like I made a joke like because they usually say I don't know if I'm happy with this batch brew, and they've been really dialing it in lately. So this is in honor of them. So cheers to you, Mark and Serge. So
Absolutely
that's in my
dialed.
cup. We were
great.
dialed.
In my cup, I've been today pulled just an espresso sort of turbo shot of a washed Kenya from Vanguard Coffee Roasters down in Dunedin in New Zealand. These guys do some great specialty beans. It's really good. They also just bought 2 decent espresso machines for running in their cafe. So I've been talking with them a bit, and really cool team down there. Got it in this cool black ceramic cup that we, I think, bought for each of us last year, which is really cool. So one of my favorite little cups. It's good.
Nice. I am drinking out of my Sinesso tumbler here. Perk, their Columbia wash process that I got on Bottomless this week. Not a sponsored post, but we do love Bottomless. Along with several other brands, I just received a care package of Blue Bottle, their Kenya, and Civil Goat, their Ethiopia.
Civil Goat, they are one of the coolest cafes.
Gonna be a fire bag.
Texas somewhere, was it? In Austin?
In Austin, yeah.
Yep. And
care package from my good friend
They
Devin.
literally have a goat out in the back, right?
They literally have a goat.
Most unexpected experience when we're down in Austin. I bought one of their t-shirts when we were down there as well a couple of years ago too. Cool team.
It's going to be pretty exciting, yes. And then, let's see, I also have a bag. Alex and I picked this up last week, the Counterculture X La Marzocco Home. It's a blend, but why
Jake,
were we...
I was going to say, Jake, what will be in your cup starting December 1st? Did you want to share that with us?
Yes. Oh, it arrived today. The Onyx calendar is here. Very exciting. It will be in my cup every single day. I'll be doing a review. I keep my Excel spreadsheet every year. This is my 3rd or 4th year running of the Onyx coffee calendar, so very excited for a couple of those coffees.
Love that.
And you got yours too, right? Well, you got 2.
Yeah. There was a friend here in New Zealand that I decided that I was going to split a box with, and so the US to New Zealand exchange rate is like pretty tough at the moment, and shipping and those kinds of things. So it's pretty expensive. Made a decision. I was like, yes, we're going to do it. Bought it with a friend, and then as it turns out, some good friends of ours, Jared and Joy, who are here, and shout out to Jared and Joy, in New Zealand for 6 months, bought the Advent calendar for us as a Christmas gift. So now I've got double. So I started a little early.
Yes.
And I thought I'll get through each of the days starting early, and then starting December 1 I'll start over again through the Advent calendar. So it's cool.
What has been a favorite so far?
Today I had a washed Kenya, which was really good. But I think my other favorite so far was a washed Ethiopia Sidamo. That was just really good.
I can't wait. I haven't even looked at the list yet, so I need to pick my favorites. I am also splitting my calendar up, and so I'm going to have to make some sacrifices.
I mean, it's a lot of coffee. 60 grams, 56 to 60 grams a day. It's definitely a lot of coffee. I like how it's always hilarious that they start day one with their Crumpus blend, which is like a Kenya dark roasted past second crack. Like, that's all. It's just hilarious. Like, and they know what they're doing too.
But the packaging experience is so well done as well. Like, especially this year, it's so cool.
Did you get the spinning, like the wheel and everything in yours?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep. So it comes with like a little game. So in the middle, it's got this kind of board game type thing, and then all the coffees are on the outsides. Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay. I was wondering if that was like US exclusive or everyone was. You never know. We could be breaking huge news here on the Brew Crew podcast. Cool.
Very cool.
Well, with that, we'll move on to what's
jump
brewing.
into what's brewing with each of us, really. So we got what's brewing with Jake. I just randomly happened to get a bunch of kind of just new little coffee things, and I'm going on a trip, and so kind of put together an updated travel bag. But I just got this. This is it's a collaboration with Love Ramix and Tens, Hundreds, Thousands, which is James Hoffman's kind of merch store line. I mean, really, it's just like it's a little tray. It's just glass. Like, it's really kind of silly, but it's perfect for dosing beans into, which I kind of like, because usually I'm using like a metal cup, and the beans always get stuck to the walls, and then it's early in the morning and I miss a gram, and so this is just nice. It's really portable. Put the beans in, spray it. I cover it up like this. Cover it up, shake it. No beans fall out, so it's great. So I got that. That was kind of fun. And then this is my updated travel bag. It's in a basal bag.
Nice.
Give you a little tour here. So, Commandante C40. And then there's the little, that's the handle, which I put it in this. I actually got this little shop rag from Onyx, which is just kind of cool. So I'm shielding the body from that there. AeroPress, Acaia scales underneath here, and then we have, I'm pretty excited about. It's a 90 plus estates Panama anaerobic natural geisha.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy. Some beans in here. This will fit the little, this thing fits in here at the bottom. And then we're also bringing the Aurea. So I kind of wanted to have just two options in case I get
AeroPress and Aurea.
Yeah, AeroPress and Aurea. And then I have a little in the pouch here, which is the other thing I got. My Mellow Drip actually broke. So the little handle that the Mellow Drip sits in, I can't find it in here. So this little piece, see, like right there, that actually broke. So then the metal rod no longer sat inside of it, which was fine because Jake printed a little like Mellow Drip lift knockoff, and I was using it with that. But it prevents me from using the Mellow Drip in its original intention. So I had emailed, I said, hey, this broke, like, can I just buy a replacement like base? And Ray at Mellow Drip just sent me a brand new one, free of charge. So I feel bad
Shout out to
now
Mellow
for
Drip.
not backing the Kickstarter, but yeah, shout out to Mellow Drip. So that was great. And then, yeah, so looking forward to brewing mobily. We'll be in Hawaii, so that will be nice. There's not really any coffee shops where I'm going, so
Which
You need
part
to
of
bring
Hawaii are
these
you
with
off to?
you.
yeah, going to Maui. So yeah, that'll be fun. But that's
did you-
that's what I've been brewing and what I will
How
be
did you-
brewing.
How did you know that your dosing cup was going to fit around the metal tin of coffee that goes in the travel case?
I didn't. It actually kind of fits a little bit lopsided, but it
Blessed.
miraculous. Yeah, it just all fits. So, and I'm bringing the Mellow Drip because, like, if you heard before, we talked about. I think the place that we're going has like a kettle, so I'll just use the Mellow Drip to disperse the water when I'm brewing with the Orea. So, yeah. You just were traveling as well. Now we all know when Ewan travels, it's insane. Tell us
Well,
what you did.
There's different versions of the travel kit, right? You got the kind of small, portable, I'm going on the plane to Hawaii travel kit. This time I had a chance to use my full travel kit, which was quite cool. So for work, we were doing an off-site strategy planning sort of session over the weekend. And we were going to be at a batch or like a holiday home type thing for a few days. And so I thought it'd be a great excuse to make use of my Decent Espresso suitcase. So well, maybe we can post some pictures as we're talking about. Yeah, had threw the Decent Espresso machine in the travel suitcase, and then I bought a sort of knockoff Pelican case, which I used for my Lagon Mini and my grinder and things. So put that together, and it was great. Over the weekend, we were brewing some great coffee, and it worked really well. Oh, we lost you there, Rosis. Might be on mute.
Sorry, rookie move. I was saying I don't know how many people travel with their espresso machines wherever they are, but I feel like that's the nice thing about a Decent is that they give you that suitcase and you can just plop it in and then you're off. Like when Jake and I go do things, we're like lugging a rocket around and it's just like
Yeah, and the physical footprint of the Decent is quite small, and it's not that heavy, and plus that in addition to the suitcase that it comes with, just drop it in, zip it up, it's on wheels, and so it makes it really easy. Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
You don't have to like lug it around in an Apple box like we do.
Yeah, and then like I always worry about. So I feel the rockets are really finicky in their metal frame where the drip tray sits. It's like 1.5 welds. So if you put too much front weight on it, which the E61 pieces, they're very heavy. Like that's the bulk of how heavy a rocket is the front kind of fascia. And so if you set it down front first, you can accidentally bend the drip tray up a little bit, which I've heard is notoriously what happens when they get shipped out from like Seattle Coffee Gear and everyone else. They're posting in like the Facebook pages like, is this
Brand
normal?
new.
Like my rocket, like the tray is not like sliding in properly. Because they should probably ship it on like a wood pallet, but I don't think it's that price wise of an espresso machine to do that. But yeah,
That's cool. The other update to the kit, I don't know that we've actually talked about this yet, but so Option O, the company that makes the Lagon Mini and the Lagon P64, and the P64 that I have has the SSP multi-purpose burrs, which works really well for like turbo shots and like really high sweetness but really low body, which is great for turbo shots. But part of the challenge is we drink so many milk-based drinks, lattes and flat whites and things, that the multi-purpose burrs don't mix, that they don't cut with milk quite so well. But just a couple of weeks ago, Option O launched a new version of their burrs called I'm not sure how to pronounce it, the Meissen Omni Flat Burrs. So they're a 64 millimeter, and they're kind of designed to be a sort of halfway between the SSP multi-purpose and the high uniformity. And and so they have kind of still the sweetness and the clarity, but it's got a bit more sort of body that cuts a lot better with milk-based drinks. So I placed an order for those, and I'm planning to drop those into the P64, which should be arriving shortly. So I'm excited to give those a try.
That'll be quite the celebration. Wow.
Yeah. Now that I found out we can do audio in this interface, it's game over. So, no, that's cool. I feel like you and I've heard people talk about that, and like Brian Kwan talk about in some of his comparison videos, like the multi-purpose are so. It's just very you can either have a really excellent espresso and then you pull it the next shot and it's like, do I even know how to do coffee? Like I even think some of the what is it, the Baratza, the Ditting 54mm burrs, there's been times where I actually have gone over and started pulling like a shot of espresso on the option O because I want the conical flavor, because I feel like I'm just not getting enough body from the flats, which I think I was going, some on the Monarch blend by Onyx, which is very like chocolate. It's more like a traditional kind of profile. I felt like I wasn't getting a lot out of it on the flat burrs, so then I did it on the conical, and I got a lot more body, which I think mixed a lot better with milk.
Yeah, the SSP multi-purpose burrs are excellent at what they do, but I feel like they're quite a narrow range in terms of the kind of espresso or kind of coffee that you can make. So excellent for pour over and excellent for like turbo shot espressos, but then you just kind of ironic because of the name multi-purpose. They're not very multi-purpose in that you can't really do them with milk-based drinks or other kinds of ones. So it'd be nice to be able to try this different sort of burr, which hopefully will work better with milk-based drinks and be a bit more kind of universal, and just to kind of try something different, I guess.
Yeah, because I will say when you were here in the States, the coffees that you made, like some of the turbos, the blooming espressos, those were all super vibrant. Definitely stuff that I couldn't have done at home. Granted, that's with a decent. But yeah, I feel like it nailed that really well. But obviously, because I think if you even think coffee shops, they're not using multi-purpose burrs generally. Like, let's say on the Malkonig E65S, that's like a more well-rounded burr profile, or like the E80 whatever, like it's going to be, I'm sure you can put it in, like people will do that with the EK, but coffee shops are going to be using a rounded flavor profile for the most part. So I think if you think about that, you're taking a very niche approach and using that kind of multi-purpose, which is why it might be harder.
Right, and you apply that to the home scenario where it's like, I love the coffee that it produces, but then I have friends come around who aren't quite as passionate about, specialty coffee, and so they're looking for a particular kind of drink, and those burrs just aren't designed to be able to make something, that tastes great in that scenario. So they look at this big telescope-looking, grinder, and then like, doesn't quite sort of taste the way that I was thinking.
It must be the freeze-distilled milk.
Do you guys have milk in bags in New Zealand?
Milk in bags? No,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
Okay,
seen
maybe
that
not.
before.
I just saw in Canada they do milk in like a plastic bag.
Huh.
When I was
That's
in Christchurch, there were milk in bags, but it's only for like the place where I was living. It was like a school, right? So they have like a cafeteria kitchen, and so they like did milk in bags, but it was for like at scale. I don't think you can buy them in the store.
Maybe I need to go on a hunt.
I just see
have any milk in bags.
I just see these like videos of people doing Instagram reels, and they're like, making their latte, and they're very casually have milk in a plastic bag that's in like a pitcher, and they're just pouring it out, and I'm like, wait, is your milk in a
That's not
plastic
normal.
bag? Like, so
Right,
if you're,
the bag
if you're
sits in a
Canadian,
pitcher.
yeah, like if you're Canadian, please give us some insight, because I am very confused about that. So
The reason I have this counterculture X La Marzocco bag is because La Marzocco this last weekend hosted a open house to demo the Linea Micra, which is the shrunken down. They
Sort of
basically
little brother.
they took a shrink gun and just shot the Linea Mini and shrunk it down into the Linea Micra, and they held an open house for people to come test it. They're giving away bags of coffee. It was at one of their showrooms, which was awesome. So we went down to go check it out. I'm sure Alex will upload a couple of pictures or maybe even some videos of us using the machine for the very first time. We're both.
Wow, good. Right on.
you've done this before.
I'm just like, I'm like one of those guys,
Do you have a machine at home?
I have a Rocket,
A Rocket, awesome.
but I've always wanted a Mini.
Okay.
And now the Micra is a real
It's caught
tempting.
your eye, huh?
It's a real tempting proposition. Let me tell you what.
And then you kind of feel for the little ears to fit in.
Yeah, it's like way over here, or is it not
Yeah.
so far?
It is, and you kind of have to stick it up very flat. So,
Okay, we're in.
all right. Okay, so here we go.
Don't worry, it's a perfect tamp, so we're
It's
gonna
gonna
get
be
great
a
extraction.
perfect tamp. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay, and then over here.
Yep. Just move it all the way over. Oh, not bad, not bad.
It's alright.
Not bad, not bad.
No, we're gonna say that I failed the machine, but it saved me. Wow, Alex getting all the
You know,
shots.
there's a lot that a freshly roasted coffee can do for you too. So,
30?
And then 30. So, nice. Okay, beautiful.
We'll deal with this one.
Stop.
Can I steam too?
Yes.
Oh wow, look, this thing is mobile.
It's a no burn, right?
Yes, it's a no burn. So after a few drinks, it'll get warm,
Yeah.
but it won't get ever hot. And so then, it's gonna give it feel. It's pretty powerful, so it's gonna do it real quick.
Is it the same power as the Linea?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It just can't do as many drinks in a row as the Mini can. So
I think I had seen in Lance Hedrick's video, he was saying like 6 shots.
yeah,
like
6
back
drinks
to
in a
back,
row is
probably.
what we rate it for. So before you need to let it sit just for. I mean, from being completely cold to completely ready to brew, it only takes 5 minutes. So you really only
That's
need
pretty cool.
a couple minutes in between a drink for it to literally get back to full temperature. I love this double camera
No
action.
pressure, Jake.
Both Rocket owners walking into La Marzocco to try out the new Micra, and the steam. I think my biggest impression was the steam wand is so much more immediate power, and everything's smaller. Like I've worked on a Mini several times before. The Mini has always been kind of like my goal. That will be my next machine, my next upgrade. It's the big final goal for me. So the Micra was really interesting because the Mini now costs $6,000, and this is what the Mini cost 2 years ago, coming in at $399. So $3,999
plus an extra zero, yeah.
plus an extra nine. So it's interesting. They said we got a couple interesting pieces of feedback. Went through the line, made a latte, poured some great art. Just showing off for the good people there. But they said more or less 6 to 7 shots back to back to back before the boiler needs to reheat, which I thought was great. I mean, if you're having a dinner party, if you're a home user, seems like the perfect machine. The boiler was quiet. It was powerful. The big drawback. Oh, go ahead.
So it's the it's kind of the little brother to the Linea Mini, right? It's physically a smaller footprint, still dual boiler, right?
Still
But
dual boiler.
physically smaller and just a smaller boiler size at also a more affordable price point.
Exactly. Yep. 12 inches by 12 inches by 15 inches.
Okay. Any
Or,
idea
sorry.
as kind of a proportion? Like, is it 80% the size? Is it 20% smaller?
I would say more. I would say like 30% smaller.
Okay.
Like it's quite small. I mean, we'll put side by side photos up, but it is much smaller. I would not be able to fit like an 8-ounce or a 12-ounce paper cup underneath, like on my Rocket or on the Mini, right? If you're brewing for people, or maybe you're at some sort of party where you need to pour into paper cups for people, you're not pulling your shot directly into the cup. You need to pull into a espresso cup, and then so there's some things like that are interesting. Cappuccino cups would work fine, right? If you're doing 6-ounces or something like that. But the clearance space, they have this removable spouted portafilter, so you can turn it
Yeah,
into a
that's
bottomless
interesting, isn't
portafilter, which is really, really cool. Everyone that did the demo looked at it, took the spout off right away, and just used it as a bottomless, which I think is how it should be used. The bottomless portafilter does have like a little lip on the end of the portafilter, so that when you push it on the counter, it's still flat and you can tamp. So it does seem like they really thought of, if we do this, then we're going to need to do this. Seems like they took a pretty good deal of care. Did we get Alex back?
Yeah, I'm here. That was so weird. My audio might not be as crispy now, but we'll have to do troubleshooting there. But
That's all right.
yeah, I heard kind of I heard most of the recap. It definitely was. It was definitely a very cool, slick-looking machine. I mean, if you think about it, there's the Rocket. There goes
the
every
Rocket.
episode. That's gonna happen. Yeah, it's definitely like a really slick-looking machine. I think in terms of the downsides that I see with it is, one, the steam wand is really weird. And I'll play the video that we did of it. Took a video of Jake pouring a shot. But I think the steam wand is really weird because it's really short and like stubby. So you have to like let's say on a traditional slow pour pitcher, you can't get the depth that you need to get like all the way in to like create a swirl. So I don't think I knew how to do it right then and there, but after watching a couple of videos of other people, you kind of have to like if this is the cup, you couldn't just go here. You kind of have to like almost move the pitcher entirely and like just change your starting angle, which is weird. Again, you probably get used to it. But that was kind of like, I think, the weirdest thing. And then also, obviously, the height that you have is like almost, I feel like it's very similar to the Breville. It's like a very similar distance, which that's the downside, is that you just can't get really fancy with the types of cups that you use, which is fine. You can always, it's the Italian style. They just want you to go into little shot cups. But I feel like those are kind of my only two downsides that I can kind of see from it. I guess.
What's your thought of the price point,
Yeah,
Alex? And it obviously it's the more affordable version now of the kind of larger and perhaps more kind of commercial place now, Linea Mini. But at that price point, how would you compare it to other machines at that same price point?
Yeah, so it's basically, what was it, Jake? 3,900.
$39.99.
It's basically sub 4,000, and then a Linea Mini now is just about 6, right? Right in that range. Which I think we have to call out, obviously, that the Linea Mini in 2019 was the same price as the Micra is now. So, inflation, whatever. I think that's all. I think you have to, when you're in that price range, you have to think, okay, is this the best? Is this what I want for this price? Because I think I like what Lance called people. He was like, if you're a 9-bar fiend, like you are live and die by 9 bars, and that's it, nothing else. This is great. This is for you. But for 3,900, like you can get a Lilite Bianca, which is a dual broiler great machine, has
Also
Yep.
has flow
Flow
control and
PID.
PID. You can plumb that in, which I think, and then obviously you can look at doing a decent for well under that price. So there's
less than 4,000.
basically every company out there that's not like Synesso or Marzocco or the big more commercial companies. They have their top machines are all under that price, and they might be actually more feature heavy. Which I kind of think through, like, I really would like to try low profile stuff at some point. Like, I'd love to try to pull a Slayer style shot and allow coffee to bloom at those lower bars. But I feel like the micro wouldn't be for me, right? I think like I really like it, and I'm sure it would pull like really great espresso, but my kind of hill to die on is the flow control aspect of that. So.
And then I think if you're looking at comparing the Micra to the Mini, if you're stuck between those two machines, it's all about commercial, right? Like, do you want to be able to go host a party and pull more than 6 back-to-back shots? Do you have the counter space for the Mini? That's the other big one. But for most home users, yeah, if you're down to die by the 9 bar, it's a great machine. Colors are beautiful. Plumbing kit coming soon, they said. So we're able to talk to some of the staff there, and they said plumbing kit's not available just yet, but there will be a plumbable kit available for the Micra as well.
Yeah, I
think it comes down to what's important to you, right? Like the parallel is like in aviation, they talk all the time about defining your mission. When you're thinking about a particular plane and what's going to work best, it's like, what's the mission that you need it for? You're not going to buy, like a big 6-seater, like large Cessna 206 if you were wanting like off-road, like backcountry landing. In this case, you're talking about like, do you just want a simple, commercial, indestructible 9-bar machine? Perfect. But if having more ability over like flow control or creating different profiles and those kinds of things, then it's not going to be a machine for them, right? Like, I guess it depends what's important to you.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, a great looking machine. And I think it's Prometheus in his video, he was commenting that he thinks that this is the direction they're moving, and that the Micra is a step to actually really kind of phase out the Linea Mini. Kind of an interesting take there. I think it definitely could happen. But I think if we look at the marketplace now, there's more and more home baristas that are opting for the Linea Mini. And I think even the power draw, I think power is a huge thing that people don't really think about, but like the Micra is designed to operate on the same power as like any other E61 group head machine. Whereas Linea Mini is going to draw obviously a lot more, and obviously the 5-minute heat up time is like huge.
15 amp circuit on the
So does that? What's the impact of that, Alex? Does that mean that based on your electricity prices, it's going to be cheaper to run than the Linea Mini?
Yeah, I think it definitely will. I mean, I'm not an electrician.
I mean,
and
to be fair, it's kind of splitting pennies. It's not like that big of an electrical difference. It's more of, especially if you're setting up shop someplace that's not your home, does the venue have the power to run a Mini on an extension cord from a generator or something like that? Whereas the Micra, it's going to run anywhere that you plug any other appliance into. It's just a lot more efficient.
Or if you also think about if you're in an older house, depending on what your electricity is designed to handle when it was last wired, you could benefit from a lower draw machine like that. For example, I moved my espresso area to our living room, and I was running like a portable AC unit / heater. When I had the rocket heating up the boiler, and it's on the same circuit as like a little lamp, same circuit as my grinder. When I turn the grinder on, I can hear the electrical frequencies like going up and down. It has built-in variable RPM. based on the electricity. And then whenever I start steaming and the boiler says, "Oh, we gotta heat up again," it would actually flip the breaker. So I had to like make sure to not do those two actions at the same time. But yeah, but I think like Jake said, probably pretty nominal. But yeah.
From a cost perspective, obviously, if your lights are turning off because you flipped your breaker, then it's like, oh, okay, overload the circuit. You're definitely going to do that with the Mini, right? The Mini is going to require even more electrical demand. So,
yeah. So let us know down below if you were in the market. Would you get the Micra? Do you think it's cool? Let's start some conversation about that. We would love to hear what you guys think. But we are team. If you want 9 bars, great, buy it. But if you don't, you might not want to get it because you might be unhappy, and then you'll send it back open box, and then we will have to buy it open box. So that's usually where those open box deals come from. But yeah, well, I think that's all we have for today. I think Jake and I were kind of talking about upcoming episodes. We want to do one where we kind of break down kind of 3 different tiers for coffee setups. We're always just naturally doing coffee consultations, and so I think it would be cool to synthesize that into an episode. And then we also might have some interviews coming up with some people in the coffee space as well. So that's exciting. So watch this space. And I know Jake normally takes us out, but I'm going to take us out today.
I'm enjoying it.
Alrighty. See you guys next time.
Peace.